This is crazy. It's after midnight. I want to have cookies, and I did some gardening today, or I should say harvesting of ginger. Now, as I was walking by, I remembered that I had that ginger back there, so I grabbed it and I just rinsed it since I watered everything. I'm going to eliminate the roots. I don't need the roots. Let me make some cookies. I'm trying not to make a lot of noise. Here's my headband because Gary's sleeping. But you know, he'll get up in the morning and he'll find some ginger cookies. And though there's so many ways I make cookies, this is like the quickest, easiest way. Let me get my sleeves on. I'm already ready for bed. This is what I sleep in. It's starting to get cold. Okay, let me wash my hands. And I'll tell you what I'm going to use because this is so easy to do. It's incredibly easy. And you can do this gluten-free. I'm going to do mine gluten-free, but you don't have to. Let me just put this here. I'm going to use a cake mix, so I won't need much of anything. This is how easy it is. One cake mix. I'm using a gluten-free. It's a yellow cake mix. This one's from Aldi's. I don't know if you've got an Aldi's, but you could use Pillsbury, Betty Crocker, any type you want, and do the same exact thing. Now, the other thing I'm going to need is a half a cup of butter or oil. And you know what? I mix it. So I've melted down a little bit of butter. There's over a quarter of a cup of butter there, unsalted. Remember, this already has stuff in it. This cake mix has nothing. This is why I love this one. It's got rice flour, potato starch, kind of like what I put in my cookies, and then more rice flour, baking powder. There's a little bit of sodium in there, cornstarch, vanilla, and baking soda. Xanthax gum, because that's what they put in for gluten-free, and salt. There's nothing in here. There's no chemicals in this one. So I like that. And then we'll need an egg. Look, I have a green egg. So let me show you how easy it is. We'll get this together. I'll have it done 1, 2, 3. First thing I'm going to do is open up my cake mix. I do want to be quiet because I don't want to wake anybody. I don't want to wake Gary. And I've got my oven preheating to 350. So let's open up the cake mix. I always keep a scissors right here so I can open things up really quickly. And that's just from the dollar store. And it works so good. You know, I bought a scissors once that was made for cooking. And it doesn't cut. Okay, then we're going to need, well, you know what? I want to put ginger in. So let me show you what I'm going to do with this. I hope you can see this. I'm going to grate this. So let me grab my grater. And let me grab a small plate. And there is one more thing I will need. You don't have to put ginger in. You could just do this with 1 egg, half a cup of butter, and go for it. But I'm going to make this more of a ginger cookie. Now, I just, washed it real good, took off most of the skin. I'm not going to worry about it all. So I'm going to grate this so I can get this right in. And it's so, it smells so good. I literally just pulled it out today. I used half of it for my stir fry, and then I figured the other half I'll put in with the cookies. He has no idea I'm making cookies. He thinks I'm going to make some nut cookies tomorrow. He loves this. Well, he works all day in the yard, and then he likes to come in and grab something. And I don't want to waste this. So I'm going to get all my ginger in there. I might take a knife and just chop up the rest. You might get a hunk of ginger, and he loves that. But you don't have to do that. You can just grate it. And then the other thing I am going to do, you don't have to do it either, but I do it, is I'm going to add a little bit of powdered ginger when I add it into the flour, because it will bring out the real and enhance the ginger. And you know what? There's something else I like to do, and that is add in a dash of cinnamon. And I get real cinnamon. You use whatever you want, but this is actual cinnamon. There's 2 types of cinnamon. One is kind of a fake cinnamon. The cheap cinnamon is fake. Either one is the same, but I've been getting real cinnamon. I don't know, just something I started doing. Okay. Like I said, this is incredibly fast. So we're going to put the ginger in here. And then because it's supposed to be 1 cup of oil or butter, I mix it. If you put a little too much, your cookies will flatten. So it's whatever you like. So I'm just going to make it half and half. Again, you don't need to do that. I'm going to dump that in there. And then I'm going to crack my egg in here. Look at that. Fresh from the chickens. Perfect. You always crack in something else because you never know what you're going to find. Sometimes you find a half a chicken. No, not it, but sometimes you find something started you didn't know the hen was sitting on. And then you dump that in there. And if you don't want to waste it, you can get everything out of there by scraping it out. But that again, it's up to you. So in case I don't put this up here and tell you what it is, it's 1 cake mix. This particular cake mix is 15 ounces. It won't matter if it's 12 ounces. It all works out fine. So it's 1 cake mix, 1 egg, half a cup of oil or butter, and that's it. That's all you need. And then from then on, you could take it and do it whatever way you want. You know, you enhance the flavor on what you like. Now, this has turned out to be one of my favorite things. This is a pastry cutter, and I've been making all my cookies with this. It mixes up the cookies. Move that. So good, so fast that I can't even bake anymore without it. I never use it. Can you imagine all these years of cooking and I never used a pastry cutter? Go figure. I don't know. Even when I used to make bread and rolls, I always used a fork. And then one day I found the pastry cutter here and I thought, wow, I'm going to use a pastry cutter. I'm going to try it. And I tried it and it was like, oh my gosh, where have you been all my life? And now we're going to just do that, mix it up real good. See how it mixes everything up? In fact, I bought this one at the store. Maybe I'll put the link where I got mine because I really researched them and I bought one that I didn't want it where it's going to be loose and it's going to shake. I want it nice and sturdy. And this has just worked really good for me. It's just something if you've never tried it. Now, if you feel it's too dry, you know, maybe some of the cake mixes are 12 ounces. You could always, I could do it here because it won't matter if it flattens. Could always just add a little bit of oil. I would not add water. If you add water, you're going to end up with a real hard cookie. Oil won't make your cookies hard. So it will just spread them a little bit if you add too much. But when you add water, I've seen people say that. Oh, if the dough is not right, I've seen it on YouTube, just add in water. This is not a cake where you add in water. This is a cookie. So you can add in butter. You could, some people add in an extra egg, but I just add in a little extra oil. And then that's all there is to it. Okay, so let's see. What spoon do I want to use? I can use that one. Now by keeping the dough, I hope you can see this, kind of a little bit, see, it's not so, well, how would you say it, like sticky? You'll get a real crumbly cookie. That's another thing to think about. If you want something when you bite into it, it just kind of melts in your mouth, then keep it a little crumbly. If you want something that's more hard packed, then add in more oil. Now, there's a lot of variations you can do with this mix. In fact, this did have a lot of flour. I think I'm going to add a little bit more oil. But it could be butter, so you could add in whatever you want. But generally, I add in between half a cup to 3/4 of a cup of oil or butter or mixed. So I probably right now have about 3/4 of a cup. Because some of the different cake mixes may have more flour in it. Some may be 12 ounces. This was a big box. This is 15 ounces. Some may be 18 ounces. Now, if you feel you want to add a little bit of water, that's up to you. Totally up to you. But this is like the easiest thing to make. Now, This is where my camera went off. You didn't see me spoon the cookies on the pan. I don't know if I can save this video. My phone has been acting up now, and it cut out because I worked on so many videos. So what happened was I put the cookies on here. Very simple. Just put them on in a little bowl and pressed them down. I promise you I did. It's just my computer cut out, my phone cut out. And now I just took these out. And what I did is I don't, oh, that broke. Oh my gosh, they're like a shortbread. What happened is my phone went off. So you'll get the idea. I'm really sorry about this. And I made 2 trays. I had no idea the phone went out. Let me see, where is my mitt? 350, and you watch it. As soon as it starts to go golden brown, lightly brown, get it out. With cookies, you want to make sure that they're underbaked and never overbaked. But all you do is just roll them out. And if you want, you don't have to. You can put a little sugar and some cinnamon on a plate, and you can pat them down and flatten them that way. It'll give a little bit of a sweeter taste to the top. That's if you want. I rarely do that. Gary doesn't like that. But that's all there is to making these cookies. Oh my gosh. It's so good, and they're so warm. Oh my gosh. See how beautiful they are? This is Gary's favorite. He loves ginger cookies. It usually makes 2 trays. I'm going to make about 5 rows, 3 cookies each, but you're going to make them the size you want. You have kids, you want to make them really tiny, make them small. The big thing is, when you're putting them on the tray, try to make them all the same size so they bake, together. If you made a real big one of your kids wanted, or you wanted a big one and small ones, it's not going to work because it won't bake upright. That's the only reason. And again, you want to make sure, in case this cut out, you pull them out of the oven before they're ready or as soon as they're ready. If you wait till they're too brown, any cookie, it won't be right. So think of it, underbaked is always better than overbaked. And if you can remember that, you've got it made. I mean, think of people eat cookie dough. So you're going to eat a soft cookie that's not really hard by making sure it's just slightly underbaked, especially this. So what do you need? Nothing more than a box of cake mix. It can be between 12 and 18 ounces, 1 egg, and a half a cup of oil. And if it looks a little dry, you can go up to 3/4 of a cup of oil. It could be oil or butter. I mix it. That is it. You mix it together. And with this, you saw me grate up the ginger. I put in a little bit of powdered ginger and a little bit of cinnamon, and you're good to go. You want to don't add in ginger, put in chocolate chips, put in sprinkles. I'm going to turn this. Put in whatever you want. Now, keep in mind, this is a gas oven. Gas ovens tend to run hot. That's why you really want to watch it. Electric, it goes right on the money. If it says 350, you're going to be 350. With this, it could go to 375. It could drop down to 325. So that's why the best thing to do with cookies is stay in the kitchen. Don't go sit down and watch a Hallmark movie. Think you're only going to be there for 2-3 minutes. And 10 minutes later, you come running in and you got hard cookies. So that's all there is to it. The simplest, easiest thing to make. And if you can't afford it, a lot of your dollar stores have cake mixes for $1. You can make cookies for almost $1. And then you have fresh cookies at home. I love making from scratch. Do not kid yourself. But this, in a pinch, it's good. And you can use gluten-free or regular. Come on. It's done. See how lightly golden brown they are? See that? That's all you want. Now the main thing you want on this, let me check my camera, is you want to get it off as soon as possible because it's still baking. And then let it cool on a cookie rack, a wire rack. It tastes much better. If you leave it on the pan, it's still baking. I leave it on there for about a minute so it will set. If you take it off when it's too hot, it could fall apart. And test it. If you see they're going to come off, then go ahead and grab them and then take them off. They're going to be hot, but you can slide them off this way. And if some of these have cooled down already, start to move the other ones over. Once they're cool, I put them in a cake pan with a lid, and you're good to go. And that's it. So I hope you enjoyed this. Sorry about the video cutting out. Ask some questions, and if you want me to do it again, I can do it again. This is what happens when you try to do things. It's what, 1 o'clock in the morning? And sometimes you don't pay attention. And I thought I was good to go, but I forgot I was working on another video. It was still apparently on my phone, and I ran out of space. Oh, these are so good. And they smell so good. So he'll be excited in the morning to have his ginger cookies. So with that, have a wonderful day. And don't forget, to eat what you grow. Look at that. Can't go wrong. I made these with ginger from our own garden. Oh, good. Bye-bye. Yeah, I'm ready for bed already. No, I ate one. I'm not going to eat any more. I hope not. Bye-bye. That's 3. But they're small. And they're light. And they're healthy for you. They're ginger. Yeah, I keep telling myself that.